Hello everyone, I'm Eijin Nimura, violinist and UNESCO Artist for Peace. UNESCO celebrates 75 years since it was founded. No one could have predicted that now we have to fight against COVID-19. At this very moment, people in medical treatment are working so hard to save lives around the world. As well, UNESCO is operating as hard as it can to ensure that people can have a stable life in such a difficult situation. Today, let's take a look together how important UNESCO is to all of us. What comes to your mind when you hear the name UNESCO? The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization is one of the 15 specialized agencies of the United Nations. However, the field covered by UNESCO is extremely broad and it's the only UNESCO among a specialized agency of the United Nations that operates in such large areas. This year, UNESCO has celebrated its 75th anniversary. It's well known that UNESCO was born as a reflection on the fact that humankind, having experienced 2 world wars, must never repeat the same mistakes. But even after World War I, the people around the world were determined never to cause another catastrophic war. Nonetheless, why was World War II happened? The reason was the lack of what humankind must have in their hearts to keep the peace. For that reason, UNESCO Constitution includes as the most important part of keeping peace. Since wars begin in the minds of men and women, it is in the minds of men and women that the defenses of peace must be constructed. Now, what does it mean wars begin in the minds of men and women? We are always coexisting with someone else, but if there is a no in our hearts towards someone, and that no increases, it will eventually cause us to start a war. UNESCO put all its efforts into eliminating those no in people's minds through education, science, and culture, as well as communication and information. If I were to explain these words briefly, let's use what we need now while leaving enough for young people and the future of the next generation. We have finally begun to realize things what we thought was convenient and comfortable for humans were actually destroying the lives of other creatures on this planet. Experts believe that COVID-19 also emerged as humans destroyed nature and lost biodiversity. The only way to prevent us from getting a horrible disease is to protect ecosystems and diversity, that is, different types and tendencies. That's why UNESCO's Man and the Biosphere program is so important. The importance of diversity is the same for us humans as well. We all have our own personalities and characters, so we can develop together by accepting each other's differences in gender, race, religion, ideology, and culture, then merging our different values. World Heritage Sites are not only a common treasure for humanity, but also have an important purpose to learn about and recognize different cultures. Education is the best way to make UNESCO's principles practice for all people. Therefore, UNESCO has made it a top priority to implement education for all. As our ideal, We hope that more schools will join the UNESCO Associated Schools Network, which currently has more than 11,500 schools in 182 countries. Let's entrust the future of our planet with children and young people who can practice the UNESCO's principles. I was appointed UNESCO Artist for Peace in 1998 as the first Japanese. A few months later, UNESCO launched Manifest 2000 for cultural peace and non-violence. These pledges gave me a strong sense of mandate and motivation as a new UNESCO Artist for Peace. I would like to conclude today's message video while reading these pledges. I pledge in my daily life, in my family, my work, my community, my country, and my region to respect all life. I respect the life and dignity of each human being without discrimination or prejudice. I pledge to reject violence. I practice acting non-violence, rejecting violence in all its forms: physical, sexual, psychological, economical, and social, in particular towards the most deprived and vulnerable, such as children and adolescents. I pledge to share with others. I share my time and material resources in a spirit of generosity to put an end to exclusion, injustice, and political and economic oppression. I pledge to listen to understand. I defend freedom of expression and cultural diversity, giving preference always to dialogue and listening without engaging in fanaticism, defamation, and the rejection of others. I pledge to preserve the planet. I promote consumer behavior that is responsible and development practices that respect all forms of life and preserve the balance of nature on the planet. I pledge to rediscover solidarity. I contribute to the development of my community with the full participation of women and respect for democratic principles in order to create together new forms of solidarity.